Top 6 Best Motherboard for Ryzen 5 5600X in 2024. Finding the best motherboard for a mid-range AMD gaming PC based on the Ryzen 5 5600X can be difficult. After all, selecting the flagship motherboard you like the look of or the first low-end motherboard that fits your budget is a much easier task than selecting from dozens of mid-tier motherboards. You want to match it to your CPU while keeping the possibility of putting a more powerful processor into the AM4 socket in the future in mind. That's why we've done the legwork for you by compiling a list of the best motherboards for the Ryzen 5 5600X. Like the video, and comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get started. MSI Mag B550 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi. Specifications. Form factor, ATX. Chipset, B550. RAM memory technology, DDR4. DIMM slots, 4. MSI consistently ranks first on the list of PC hardware recommendations due to its consistent quality and dependability. This Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi variant offers extensive coverage in almost every category for a mid-range gaming PC based on the Ryzen 5 5600X, and it's also reasonably priced. It supports ultra-fast wireless and networking thanks to built-in Bluetooth 5.2 and support for the modern Wi-Fi 6 standard. USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, both USB-A and USB-C, provide high-speed data transfer with modern options for external storage devices and whatever peripherals you require, but you may want to pair it with a PC case that includes extra front panel ports. The Ryzen 5 5600X does not require overclocking, but the 10+2+1 power phases work in tandem with heatsinks to keep thermals under control if you do. For a full-sized ATX motherboard, you get almost everything you could want, including 6 dedicated case fan headers to avoid excessive daisy chaining. Reasons to buy. Suited for easy overclocking. Multi-gig LAN speeds. 6x case fan headers. Reasons to avoid. Only 5x USB-A ports. ASUS ROG Strix X570E Gaming ATX Motherboard. Specifications. Form factor, ATX. Chipset, AMD X570. RAM memory technology, DDR4. DIMM slots, 4. Everyone does not have the same budget or activities in mind. If you're looking for the most high-end features in this category and you don't care about pricing, the ASUS ROG Strix X570E is one of your best bets. The ASUS ROG Strix X570E is definitely the top-notch MOBO of that generation. It's a motherboard built for high-end usage, overclocking and the most demanding data transferring. The reason we didn't select this one as our best choice is exactly that. This board is premium, so the price is premium, whereas the Ryzen 5 5600X is more mid-range. But it's still normal for people to get this motherboard for that chip, especially if they're thinking about upgrading a little in the future. We can't let this board slip by unnoticed, so here it is. The Strix X570E features 8 SATA ports, 8 USB 3 Gen 2 ports, 2 M.2 4.0 Gen connectors, which should be more than enough, and 2.5B plus Gigabit Ethernet plus Wi-Fi 6. This motherboard has the tag gaming in its name, and honestly, seeing all the features it can easily be considered a pro board. Reasons to buy. Great overclocking. High-end construction. Good price. 2.5B Gigabit Ethernet plus Wi-Fi 6. Reasons to avoid. Only 2 M.2 slots. Gigabyte B550i Aorus Pro AX. Specifications. Form factor, Mini ITX. Chipset, AMD B550. RAM memory technology, DDR4. DIMM slots, 2. Mid-range CPUs like the 5600X are perfect for small form factor builds. To ensure that all of Ryzen's power is utilized, pair it with the B550 Aorus Pro AX, for an easy-to-build design with well-laid-out port placement. The 6+2 power stages aren't doubled, so you get plenty of juice, and you get a PCIe 4.0x16 slot and M.2 SSD slot, and a second PCIe 3.0 M.2 SSD slot on the back. Reasons to buy. Compact form factor. PCIe 4.0 support. Wireless connectivity. Reasons to avoid. Limited expansion slots. NZXT N7650E. Specifications. Form factor, ATX. Chipset, AMD B650. RAM memory technology, DDR5. DIMM slots, 4. The best option is always the wiser option. The Ryzen 5 5600X is a good processor, but it is in the mid-range. You'll most likely get this chip to have a good time gaming, 1440p high FPS and some 4K. So, when purchasing a motherboard, it is best to keep costs in the mid-range so that you can invest more in your GPU. The NZXT N7650 motherboard has every feature you could want in a gaming/productivity PC. It lacks high-end features, but you're unlikely to need or even use them. This board was chosen as the editor's pick because it has premium features without the premium price. The N7650 has Wi-Fi 6 and 2.5 GBE, as well as 10 USB ports. It also includes PCIe 4.0 support and 6 SATA ports. This motherboard is designed to withstand overclocking and high-speed data transfer, so it should work perfectly with the Ryzen 5 5600X. Reasons to buy. A lot of USB ports. M.2 PCIe 4.0 slots. Realtek ALC 1220. Reasons to avoid. Doesn't have RGB. ASUS ROG X570 Crosshair 8 formula. Specifications. Form factor, ATX. Chipset, AMD X570. RAM memory technology, DDR4. DIMM slots, 4. You must sometimes let your passions fly. Budget is not everything in life, and getting the best parts possible is what many enthusiasts are looking for. If you believe this, the ASUS ROG X570 Crosshair 8 formula is the right choice for you. This is one of the generation's strongest and best motherboards. It has fantastic audio codecs and compatibility. It will work best with a more powerful processor like Ryzen 9 or even 7, but that just means you can upgrade as well. The ROG X570 Crosshair 8 formula has high-end OC features. It's perfect if you're looking for a water cooling system, although you might not even need it for the Ryzen 5 5600X. It also packs features 2 PCIe 4.0 M.2 slots, a 2.4 gigabits per second Wi-Fi controller, a lot of 10 gigabits per second USB, and an Intel bit NIC. It's expensive, but you'll ensure the best features you can get for the AMD X570 chipset. All packed in a very good-looking design. Reasons to buy. Excellent EKWB VRM water block. 5G LAN Ethernet. Great overclocking features. Reasons to avoid. Expensive. Lacks 10-bit LAN. ASRock B550M. Specifications. Form factor, Mini ITX. Chipset, AMD B550. RAM memory technology, DDR4. DIMM slots, 2. This motherboard is a solid choice if you're planning on downsizing to an SFF form factor to suit your mobility needs. Despite its small size, you get tons of I/O options, ensuring you never run out of ports. You get support for Gen 4.0 M.2 and a PCIe 4.0 x16 slot. The Ryzen 5 5600X runs rock solid even on steep overclocks thanks to the motherboard's 8-phase VRM design. You get a total of 6 X USB ports, 2 dual display ports, and 2 X antenna ports. Reasons to buy. A.I noise cancelling microphone. DG plus VRM design. Budget friendly. Reasons to avoid. No Gen 2 USB 3.2 Type-C support. No diagnostic panel. No PCIe 4.0 x16 slot. Our verdict. NZXT N7Z690 motherboard. Getting a motherboard is an essential part of building your PC. You should be able to grab a board that endures your CPU and GPU power, while not losing too much on the design part. The best option will always be the one that does exactly what it needs without going above the necessary. Thanks for watching.